Everybody, Invisiblekatana here with my review for the Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 14, Tipping Point. Another good episode. I don't know what to expect going forward. I don't know how crazy things are about to get, but we knew something was going to take the team away from Pabu. That was really obvious. I thought, maybe Sid would end up being the thing, and possibly tracking him down. Somehow the Empire could randomly show up, and it ends up being they're going to leave because Crosshair sent them a warning, like, hey, you guys are being looked into. And they're like, well, it could be a trap, but also Crosshair finally betrayed the Empire. Let's go save our brother. And I was like, okay, they're like 100% in, like, because I personally speaking, when they're like, how do we know if it's a trap or not? I'm like, you guys are technically safe. You don't have to find out. They don't know where you are. You're good to go. And I thought it was kind of stupid that they would risk it, but then it was like the whole point of, even the season finale, everybody was like, the whole episode, come back to us. Like, you're our brother. Just, it's cool. Let's be cool. Even with the chip thing, they were still like, that's effed up. But hey, you're our brother. So it made sense by the end where I was like, it's technically a stupid idea because they're really, really safe. But then it was like, no, that's their brother. They're still like 100% in on trying to do what they can to save him. And now that he's finally, really turned against the Empire, which more and more clones are, they're talking about it, and there's going to be some new plan that comes into the fold. We're definitely going to see that, if not in the next episode, then I would assume the one after. I don't think they're going to hold off too long on whatever the summon is going to be and what our our new big bad is going to do. So I thought that was really cool, where it was like, I have alternate ways of taking care of them. And I was like, all right, I want to see this too. I want to see what his plan is at the summit as well. I want this full briefing. So I'm excited for that without a doubt. But I like how this episode was handled. Like I said, we knew something was going to take them away. It's too easy, too easy to have a good life. So them going into it, I'm excited to see how things really end up turning out. Crosshair is in a really odd position. I'm surprised he didn't go back to get the other clones and try to do like a full-on jailbreak. I honestly thought that was kind of dumb, or I was just like, because they have the scene where, obviously when he's walking out and being led to that room, he's kind of looking around, and there was even a sequence where I thought they showed like a panel or something random, and it felt like it held on that for a long time. Maybe I just happened to look right when that scene was there, so it felt like it was like holding on it. But I thought they were like showing this stuff, and it's like, okay, he's looking here, he's looking there, and kind of one of those situations where the characters are like counting their footsteps and be like, all right, this thing is 3 steps here, this is this and that, and it kind of fits for that sort of character. And then when he escaped, he didn't do that. He just instantly ran to their room and gave them that warning, and I was really shocked by that. Where I was like, oh, okay, he went to give them that warning, which is very cool. But also I was genuinely surprised where it was like, oh, he didn't think to just do a jailbreak. So I guess his plan wasn't to escape at all. It was just to be like, I need to let my brothers know, like, I mean, his whole thing has kind of been F everybody anyway, if we're being completely honest. So kind of makes sense that he would just leave them and then just be like, look, I gotta take care of my brothers. Because at this point, he gets it. He's just like, man, Empire's trash and Imperial officers are trash. Let me just warn my brothers and do what I can to make sure they're really on their toes. So I thought that was a cool moment. And of course he gets knocked out by this dude's, he pulled a Princess Bride on him, like, I've built an immunity. So I was like, all right, let's make some weird, like, he's making toxins. That just makes you an even crazier villain in my eyes. So I was like, cool. That's an extra little point. It was like, he's so much better than the last dude whose name I don't remember. Not that I remember the new guy's name because I'm horrible with names, but I'm like, God, just so much cooler than the last guy. But I like what we got in this episode. We also got to see, I forgot who the guy was that they saved. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the guy from the last season that everybody really liked, who had like the teal color. I'm pretty sure that was him, if I'm not mistaken. So that was a cool rescue. We got to see Echo, and God, what was that dude's? I think they called him like Firebrand. He had like some really cool name. He was super cool, and he dual wielded, and it just made me think of Rex the whole time. I was like, so it's not Rex, but he's just dual wielding and stuff. I liked his outfit and everything, and I liked his name, even though I can't remember, but I know it was something with fire, and I was like, this is a super cool name. Like, his name is so sweet. So I like the rescue that they did. They had another officer kill himself because he was like, oh, I've been captured, the ship's been overrun, we're deleting most of the information and they're going to try to get it out of me. And he bit down on the thing and electrocuted himself. And I was like, dang, they had another one. And it was like, these people, like, they're doing like some hardcore stuff where they're actually having people like kill themselves off and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is really intense. And which I love. I absolutely love when Star Wars is allowed to go like really serious and dark, even though that was just like one moment. But the concept of someone having to commit suicide because they're captured in wartime is crazy. Like, that's a deep concept, and he just did it, and it was just like, there wasn't really much motion. He was kind of just doing it calm, and then boom, and he's fried. And I was like, that's intense. Like, it's an intense thing to do. But loved the opening, with them just going in, attacking the ship, doing it perfectly the way that it needed to be done. Absolutely fantastic. So I love seeing all of that. So we did get a cool action sequence. We got some great story beats, and who knows what comes next. They're going to go back to that, or they're going to go to that factory, I should say, or facility. And I imagine they'll end up rescuing him. The team will get Crosshair. Maybe that does mean that he'll actually rejoin them by the end of this season. So we'll go into season 3. And I think I mentioned that before when Echo ended up leaving, and it was like, all right, it makes it seem like the team is really small. And so now we get Crosshair back, and even if Echo obviously stays gone, it still kind of brings back at least the same amount of numbers that we're used to, as far as the team is concerned. So I feel like that's where it's headed. I don't think I almost feel like at this point it would be a disservice to kill off Crosshair. Like, it would be the ultimate sacrifice. It would almost be fitting for his character to not get to have that. It would be really tragic, but it would almost be fitting for his character not to be allowed to actually go back to them and just have like that final moment where he dies saying like, hey, I wish I could have joined you, or I wish I did join you the last time. I just didn't get it back then. So it would be tragic, but I almost, like I said, I feel like it would be a disservice to actually kill him off. It'd be a good story beat, but I feel like it would sacrifice so much potential having him rejoin the team and, really getting into the mix of being like, man, this is what you guys have been doing this whole time. And it took a lot for me to finally question them and, basically just kind of snap. And it, takes different times for different amounts of people, although he was not chipped. And so he should have, hey, it is slightly different than a lot of other clones who are chipped, just naturally being like, this is kind of bad, guys. So still different in his perspective, but in all honesty, that probably just adds to the potential of the, the actual story. So either way, I'm looking forward to what we get. I do hope that he lives and officially rejoins the team, and then that's kind of how we end out season 2, where he's back a part of the crew, and then we get season 3 and whatever that ends up leading us to, and we have the Bad Batch back together. Sadly, most likely minus Echo, but I'd love to see Crosshair rejoin the team. I think that'd be really cool, and just once again, that dynamic is everyone has different personalities. His is like the mean personality. How does that fit? How do we really get to see that after everything that's happened? How does that happen when it's kind of melded back in with the rest of the team? So I want to see that. I hope we see it and they don't end up killing him off, or anyone else. I don't want anybody dying. It's way too early. It's season 2. They can't be killing off characters just yet. They gotta wait a little bit. But really enjoyed this episode. It's called a tipping point, but it's definitely like they're teeing up some stuff for sure. Like, we've had our bits and pieces. There's more and more talk about the clones doing things, whatever this alternate thing is that he's gonna have a summary for at the summit. I want to see that, because I feel like that's gonna truly be like the next phase, because it seems like everything that this guy says, like the new villain, I'm just like, it's got to be mind control, right? Like somewhere in here is just like he's doing some weird new level of mind control that's somehow different, or maybe reestablishing the power of what the chip, the implant did for everyone. But it's hard to tell. I'm just like, he's got some plan where it's like it's an alternate way. We don't have to just dispose of them, but keep using them. And how is the question? So don't know what to expect there, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. Of course, I would love to know what you guys thought about this episode, so please put your comments down in the comment section below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, your least favorite parts about it. Where are we headed? What do you guys want to see? What's going to happen with Crosshair? What's going to happen with the team? When do they go back to Pabu? Maybe at the end of the season after everything's kind of said and done, because obviously they're gonna do a season 3. We know that. So I would love to know your thoughts and theories on where we're headed. I have no clue how many episodes we have. I think we got like 20 something episodes. We might still have like 10 episodes left, or close to it. So I really don't know in all honesty, but like I said, in general, I would love to know your thoughts on this episode, and of course where we're headed. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.